in the last few seconds, as the flight, descends and is about to make a landing, you can see it sort of veer off path. Is there anything you can tell us from those pictures or what you've seen and heard and read all day today as to what could have possibly led to this? Because, the owner of the company, we spoke to him, he says the aircraft was in perfect condition. The pilot was very well qualified. She had, loads of flying hours under her. This whole question of visibility, the ATC had given clearance saying it's visible, 3,000 meter visibility, and then suddenly the pilot is asked to make a turnaround. It makes sense of this for our viewers.
Now, firstly, Zaka, it's very distressing for us to keep coming on air when the tragedies happen. And our heartfelt condolences to the family of the Honorable Minister. And our heart goes out to that little girl, Shambhavi Pathak, who was the co-pilot. And the captain was Sumit Kapoor, who was a few years senior to me. We worked as colleagues in Jet Airways, and he was predominantly in Sahara. So he's very well experienced. Now, as far as the data that we see through television or CCTV, it's not sufficient to even hazard a guess. So it would be a very, very wrong thing on my part to say that this could have happened. However, I understand that there is an element of curiosity with the viewers, and they would like to know, they would like answers quickly. Now, this is an uncontrolled airfield. When I say uncontrolled airfield, it's not like a Mumbai or a Delhi or say Chennai or Bangalore. It's an airfield that has a bare basic facilities that does not have any navigational aids like the instrument landing system. And at this part of the year, this time of the year, the visibility drops drastically. And here, the first attempt, it's pretty evident. Given the limited resources, that's the reason why we came on the channel only in the evening after collecting whatever evidence we could. It's very evident that the visibility was not sufficient to spot the runway in time. That's why he has carried out a go-around or a missed approach, what it's called. On a second attempt, I believe there was another go-around, and this has happened on the third attempt as far as we've gathered so far. Now, unless we are given complete details on exactly what the DFDR had, what the ATC spoke, what was the response, and the parameters. One thing we'd like to alert you is to somehow tell the police administration that whenever incidents like this happen, cordon that area off. It has become a picnic spot again. It's just like the Air India 171. There are people trampling all over that site. That's a very critical evidence being destroyed right there. So given the limited, very, very limited evidence, we would not be able to point out as to what the cause of the accident is. Visibility and uncontrolled airspace is one of the contributing factors.
So I do want to get Dr. Sushilan also on this. In terms of, we do know that there was communication between the traffic control and the cockpit, and they were given permission to land at about 8:43 a.m. The first attempt is made to descend. Within a few minutes, we can hear either the pilot or the co-pilot say that they're not able to spot the runway, so they are asked to make a turnaround. What is curious is that from whatever we have seen through either IMD weather reports or even reports emanating from local people there, the weather seemed to have been clear. Is it possible that there was a sudden weather event, maybe a passing burst of fog or something, as a result of which the captain was not able to see the runway and was asked to make the turnaround? And also in the second attempt, when they're making this descending attempt to descend, you can see the aircraft veering off course. When or how does that normally happen, an aircraft veering off its trajectory?
No, I should say Baramati always have a clear, visibility. That's why we have a FT also there. There is a flying schools there in Baramati where the students take training every day. So now the last moment visibility problem that they have announced, because this is the second attempt they did for the landing. So now when it comes to Ajit Dada, because I had given them the aircraft multiple times, Multiple times they used to fly to Baramati. Few months back, the aircraft field was closed for the maintenance part. Now the airport, the runway had made it like a tabletop, which is under the Maharashtra Airport Development Corporation, who had developed this entire runway and made it like a tabletop now. So now you can see the aircraft had landed at 20 feet on the side of the runway. So definitely this visibility was an issue
Yeah.
when we had checked, because I was in a Wings India air show, and we, along with the DG of Air Crash Investigation Bureau, we traveled together to Maharashtra for the investigation, and we saw this thing that the news which we had got, and the communication which happened with the ATC. So initially they had asked that there's no visibility, they have to turn around and have to go for a second attempt to land. So now, so I think, and basically we have to
Yes.
understand the Baramati airport doesn't have any fencing, any security. Even the information which we had got, the people who were the farmers nearby, they had saw this thing. They rushed to the site. They had taken some blankets and put on the bodies. This was the information we had got from the localites there. So definitely this is something alarming situation when it comes to airport, where we always have a VIP moments, because this is not the only time Ajit Dada is
Yes.
traveling to this airport. Every second day, because normally Monday to Friday he's in Mumbai, and Friday, Saturday, Sunday he's always in Baramati to meet the people. So this is the runway regularly used for the landing. So I think something definitely this we have to wait for the inquiry to come up the clear picture what happened over there suddenly.
No,
And
I just
VSR,
want two clarifications, Dr. Sushilan. One, the veering off course, what could it possibly be because
technical
of? And
fault.
second, as you said, it's a short distance away from where the runway starts. So clearly the
Definitely.
captain couldn't see where the runway is starting.
No, basically they had not touched the runway also. They were not on the alignment of the runway. They were on the complete different side of the runway which they
Correct.
landed, where there was no runway. Definitely there was a visibility issue. And when we can see the flip of the aircraft before the landing, it means definitely there was some technical issue, because the aircraft doesn't land this way. So I think this is some technical error,
Oh,
and we
okay.
have to wait for the report from the AAIB now.
Let me also get in Chandrasekhar Jha of the Sena UBT into this. Like I said, at the top to shine a NC, I think we should keep the politics aside of this entire thing. But,
Yes.
In Maharashtra,
Especially today.
recently we saw the local body elections where the Pawar, clan had come together and fought together in places like Pune and Pimpri Chinchwad, etc. There was a lot of speculation about the unification of the two NCPs, the NCP Ajit Pawar faction and the NCP Sharad Pawar faction. What may happen now after the tragic demise of Ajit Dada Pawar?
See, today is a very sad state which has happened, and politician, a person in a tragedy has died, and there is nothing remains to do politics on this. Eventually, it is the purpose of investigation, all those facts, surmises, conjectures, speculations, we are not going into that. We should be in a sad state, and we should think about the family and the victim's family who has suffered. So these things are to be thought now. Second thing is that with regard to his party, that is the party line will decide all these things. There is no reason to do politics at this moment. After some times, Mr. Sharad Pawar and others can decide on those issues. Eventually, it's a mourning time, and we should not discuss on all these issues because politics can happen even later stage. And
No, but what
we think
about the basic questions that people will be curious to know as to what caused this accident? I mean, if the Deputy Chief Minister in a private chartered plane meets with this fate, then people will be asking questions about their own safety when it comes to flying.
Yes, naturally, the purpose of safety has to be questioned. The safety, the investigation, what will the investigation will unearth? That will procure the reasons behind it. And if these reasons come out, then the things will be clear what has happened, how the things have